Hi guys, this video is all about understanding validation, the process of checking what your user has typed into your program. Let's get on with it. We're going to have a look at 3 different types of validation, as well as how to use validation within a while loop. So let's start by having a look at a presence check. This is probably the most straightforward type of validation. Let's say that we have a variable called text, and we're allowing the user to type in something that we're going to store. So let's have a prompt saying something like enter some text. So the user types in whatever it is they want to type, and it will be stored in text. Now we can simply say, if text is not equal to an empty string, colon, let's print a message saying, you typed something. Let's go ahead and run that. Enter some text. Hello, you typed something. Let's go ahead and add an else statement to our validation. Else, print, you didn't type anything. So we'll run it again. This time I'm just going to hit return without typing anything, which will return an empty string. You didn't type anything. So this is a very straightforward type of validation that just looks to see whether the string you get from a user contains something. Let's have a look at the next one. This one is going to be a length check. So this time, let's have a variable called phone number. And again, we're going to use input to ask the user to enter your phone number. We're now going to use an if statement to check the length of phone number. So we can simply say, if the length of phone number is equal to 11, because phone numbers have 11 characters, then we can print a message saying, phone number is the correct length. Let's go ahead and run it. Let's type in a phone number, 01234 567 890. Phone number is the correct length. And that's our second form of validation, a length check. The final form of validation we're going to look at is a range check. Now this is similar to a length check, but instead of checking for a specific value, we're going to be looking for a value between a certain range. Let's have a look at how that works. So I'm going to create a variable called number, which is going to be storing some user input, and I want the user to enter a number from 1 to 10. Now for me to work with this, I need number to be an integer, and if you've seen my input video, you'll know that no matter what the user types in, it will always be stored as a string. So even if the user types in the number 8, it will be stored in our variable number as 8, a character, not an integer. So what I'm going to do is actually convert that user input into an integer. So what this now means is ask the user for a number between 1 and 10, convert that string into an integer value, and store it in number. So number will now contain an integer, which means that I can now do this. If the number is more than or equal to 1 and number is less than or equal to 10, what I've just created there is a range of acceptable values. It has to be between 1 and 10 inclusive. And if it is between those two values, let's go ahead and make it print an appropriate message. Number is in range. Let's run it. Enter a number from 1 to 10. I type in 5. Number is in range. Of course, it's helpful whenever you're doing validation to give the user a message either way. So we should really have one that says number out of range. Run that again. So now if I type in a number 34, number out of range. So there's your third type of validation, the range check. Now let's have a look at how you can implement validation using a while loop. Let's say that we have a program that asks the user for their name, And what we're going to do is use a presence check, so the program is going to continuously ask them to enter their name until they actually type something. So it looks like this. While the name variable is equal to empty string. So in other words, for as long as they type in nothing, what we want to do is first of all print a message saying you didn't type anything, try again. And then I'm going to take that first line, name equals input, and I'm going to copy that inside the while loop. Now I've backspaced, so I'm no longer inside that while loop. Any code that I put here will only execute once that while loop exits. So here I'm going to type print, you typed something. So let's go ahead and run this. It says enter name. Every time I press return, name is equal to nothing. It just says you didn't type anything, try again. You didn't type anything, try again. You didn't type anything, try again. But as soon as I type anything, that while loop exits and the code on line 5 will run. And that's how you can put validation into a while loop so that your program keeps asking the user to enter something until they get it right. So there you go. Now you can add validation to your programs to make sure that the user doesn't break them. See you next time.